Hey there, Board Game Brody here with Let's Table It, where we get games to the table. Like this one, Tomten. It's, a dice placement game about the Swedish Christmas gnome called Tomten. And this might be the game that you need to get to your family for the upcoming December for Christmas. The game has a basic and advanced version for the game, and you can pick how you would like to play it as, you can play it competitively or on teams or cooperatively. So there's a lot of choices on how you like to play games. Now, the idea of the game is you'll be rolling your dice to use its value to match them on the available cards and then gain points and, causing you to move forward on the calendar, getting closer to St. Knut's Day. So the main board is the calendar, where players start at the top and will move forward until the end of the game when everyone gets to St. Knut's Day. But on the way, players can gain extra dice and pass ribbons to trigger ribbon abilities to score, bliss, which are points in the game. Now, players will be performing turns by whoever's token is most behind on the calendar or at the earliest date. If players are on the same space when this occurs, then it's the player who is on top. If a player is on a spot already, you will place your marker on top of theirs. In the advanced game, each player is dealt out 3 cards and 1 clan card, and each player will choose to either keep all 3 of those cards and return their clan card, or keep their clan card and 1 other card, returning the others to the draw pile. Clan cards can give players special abilities and different ways that they will score in-game points. Many of the abilities gives players choices or ways that they can, re-roll their dice when they rest, and provides different in-game scoring by having cards with certain tags on them or symbols on them at the end of the game. Now, again, each player starts with 4 dice, and they will roll them at the beginning of the game, and you can gain more dice, but you can only get up to 7. That's the dice limit. So remember, you will find out whose turn it is by whoever is earliest on the calendar, or if multiple people are on the same spot, whoever marker is on top, they will take their next turn. And on a turn, you will either work or you will rest. So 2 options there. And now to work, you will use your dice to claim a spot on one of the 3 spots on one of the 4 cards. So there's more choices with that. You can use how many dice that you want to make that value shown on the card, and you will place the dice on that space. But you must place at least 1 die, and the sum of your dice have to exactly match that spot. After placing out your dice, you will move your marker on the calendar the number of days indicated by the number with the circle on it, maybe representing a moon. Then you will score the bliss or victory points shown on that task. If you are the player who finishes 3rd, the last task on the card, then you will return all the dice to the general supply. You will claim that completed card and place it face up in front of you. And then you will draw a new card, so there are 4 cards always available for players to place out their dice on. Claimed cards will give abilities depending on what color or type of card that it is. The red cards will have 3 tags on them for potential points, and then they have a red hat icon with an arrow. This gives you an ability that can use when working to flip dice from its side to the other side. You will tilt the card 90 degrees when using this to show that you used the ability, and then this will get reset when you rest, so you will use it again. And then you'll choose one of your dice and turn its value that it was on face up to face down and give you a different value. This will help you to place out dice on certain slots that you were wanting to get on. Purple cards have 2 icons on them and then gives you a sharing icon, which means whenever another player lands on your calendar marker on top of you, you can score 1 bliss, 1 point. You can choose to use multiple cards when this happens to score points equal to how many purple cards that you have. You will then tilt that card 90 degrees when used, and it can be also reset when you rest to use that ability again in the future. Blue cards, they have 1 icon on them and a ribbon ability. These abilities will trigger whenever your calendar marker reaches or passes a holiday space. You will score 2 points for each of your blue cards, potentially also scoring them again when that second holiday space comes along on the calendar. The brown cards don't have any tags, but they still have +1 dice icon that will give you an additional die when you rest, and will score you 3 points when you get to St. Canute's Day at the end of the game. So they can be handy as well. The green cards, they list 2 tags and give additional ways to score in-game points when reaching St. Canute's Day. This is by gaining 2 bliss for each tag shown on any of your cards at the end of the game that's on that card. Remember, your clan card has this in-game ability to start the game off with, so you can, have a direction into what cards that you might be aiming to get and capture during the game. So again, when you work on your turn, you will potentially trigger any red cards for the ability to flip over your dice, use your dice to place on a spot on a card, move forward the shown spaces on the calendar, and then score the points. If you are the player to place dice on the last spot on the card, meaning all 3 of them are taken, then you will claim that card. Now, at some point, you will need to rest on your turn instead of working. You will gather any unused dice from your supply, take 4 dice from the general supply, add 1 more for each brown card with the +1 die icon on it, and roll those dice for your new supply to work with. You can have a maximum of 7 dice at a time. You will also move 1 space on the calendar, and then you can use your clan's ability to reroll any dice, and then you can enable all of your cards by tilting them back to their normal orientation to be able to use those surprising and awesome abilities again. When all players reach St. Canute's Day, the game ends. Players will then trigger their scoring when passing St. Canute's Day, and then players will compare their points, their bliss with each other. And the player with the most wins the game. And now, if playing in teams, you add your score to your partner's score, and the team with the most points wins the game. If playing cooperatively, then all players win if every player finishes with at least 77 points. If you want to try to play the game to achieve rewards, there are 7 different objectives that you could shoot for and mark them off as you achieve them, writing your initials in the box in the rule book. That can be a fun way to keep on playing the game. And, well, that's Tomten, a Christmas gnome game that uses dice placement, dice manipulation, and collecting cards to gain ways to score points while you're playing through the game. For a Christmas-themed game, it is worth taking a look to see if this is something you might like. Dice placement is kind of fun. You're fulfilling objectives to gain additional points. Is the game perfect? Well, no, but it might have, what you and your family need during the times when you are getting together to be able to play a game with a theme like this. So it's a dice placement game again, so you will be rolling your dice, and luck might, have a deal with this game. You can't do all too much with what you have, or it might give you exactly what you want. It all lies on the fall of the dice, Now, there are ways that you can adjust your dice to do what you want to get values to benefit you, but that will come slowly as you gain cards and abilities in the game. There are 5 different kind of cards that give you certain abilities, but also you will probably be looking for certain tags to collect on those cards as well to score in-game points. Your clan might also lean towards playing a certain way or doing things that might give you points according to, the way it scores, and it gives you the additional help to, manipulate your dice into what you want when you rest. The components are nice. If you like dice, these are, some small, cool black colored dice that will be used in the game. The art gives it that, Scandinavian theme. It uses art to help to prepare for St. Canute's Day, which is January 13th, if you didn't know that already. It's right there on the calendar board. The art is from Jenny Nystrom, a Swedish painter and illustrator who is already famous for her work of things about the Christmas season. You will need to use your dice in the best way possible to gain cards and use those abilities from the cards in an engine building way to become more efficient in how you gain points. Again, this is Brody with Let's Table It, where we get games to the table, like this one, Tomten. Please like and subscribe to our channel. We are working hard to bring to you videos like this one, so you know if these games are ones that you want to get to your own table.